Okay, this is Titilela Martins. You're welcome to your Monday Marriage Tonic. Now, I have a simple wisdom that I want to share with everyone today, and that's came from an experience I had of late. Yeah, and I felt I really need to share this. This is very important with you, with your spouse, in dealing with your spouse, with anybody at all, really, anybody at all, anybody whatsoever, I tell you. And okay, of recent, I I made a promise to somebody. This was somebody I loved so much, and I really care for that person so much. And during one of our discussions, I felt really moved, and I made a promise to do something. And later, the person came over and was like, "Okay, that stuff," and I said, "Okay." I was going to get back, and sincerely, immediately, I don't know where that was coming from. I just began to feel uncomfortable, and I began to inquire within myself what is happening about this, about that. And all of a sudden, I realized that that promise I made was actually contrary to my life principle. Yes, it's against my life principle. And I was now in a situation, what do I tell this person? I began to pray to God that God should just help me. And somehow I was able to handle the situation, and everything is okay by the grace of God. What do I want to bring out of this? Many times we make promises out of our emotion. In fact, my simple message to you today is, do not make a promise out of emotion, rather make a promise based on your principles, your core values, your life principle. Let your life principle uh, drive the kind of promises you make to people, since that is what you use to run your life. Okay, let it drive the promises you make to people, and this will take me to something I shared in one of my books, that is Save Your Marriage from These Little Foxes. And one of those things was, based on was on trust. Okay, sharing about trust, and I mentioned in that book that it is your responsibility, you who wants to be trusted. It is your responsibility to make enough deposits of trustworthiness, and that will make people to trust you. You don't demand trust from people. You earn people's trust, and you earn people's trust over time by making deposits of trustworthiness. You make certain deposits that now puts you in a state of being trustworthy. Yes. You see, that singular thing I did, if not properly taken care of, that singular story I told you, could affect the kind of trust that person was going to give to me. Yes, it's cool. And I realized that these are things that happens in marriage. These are things that happen in relationship. Sometimes you make promises, and I don't know, maybe you should say that you don't mean what you said, or you didn't think deep. You didn't think it through before you just say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this. Before you tell your wife, I'm going to change this lifestyle, or I'm going to do this thing, that I'm going to do things in this certain way you're talking about. Think and be sure that it agrees with your life principle, because if at the point of emotion you are making a promise to someone, somehow along the line, your life principle, the codes that run your life, your values will come to play. Even when you want to please that person, your values will come to play at a time, and you find yourself doing contrary to what you said you were going to do, because in the first place, you made that promise out of emotion. Maybe you were so happy and you decided, I'm going to do this for you, darling. Maybe you were so angry and you decided, I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. And later you realize that no, that thing I said I was going to do, no, it doesn't make sense. I'm not going to do it. Okay? And this, coming from the trust point of view, because, trust is very, very important in our relationship. Everybody knows that. But there are some little things that we do that make people not to trust us. Little deposit here and there. That little lie you told. Some people even deliberately tell lies. And then later you are coming to fight your wife that she did not believe you, that she didn't trust you. How is she going to trust you? You've not deposited enough, enough for her to trust you. You've made so many promises out of emotions. When you were so happy, then you suddenly realize this is not something I'm going to be able to do. And if it is not properly communicated, discussed, I had to I had to have a conversation with that person in order to not present myself as a liar or as somebody who just breaks promises. I had to really, I had to pray to God for wisdom to be able to really explain things to that person. If not, my integrity is going to be affected. And I realized that these are things that actually happen between husbands and wives. Your wife is not able to trust you. Your husband is not able to trust you because you have not deposited enough things to make you to be trustworthy before that person. So my tips for you this week is take a retrospect, think, work on yourself, ask yourself, what is that aspect of my marriage? What is that aspect of my relationship that I'm going to work on that will make me to gain more trust before people, before my wife, before my husband, before, sometimes some people can, like somebody told somebody one day and said, oh, you know what? I can trust you that when you say something, you will do it. I can trust you that you don't tell lies. But when it comes to time, I don't trust you. If you say you're going to come at 11, I can be sure maybe you will come at 1. That is a problem. So it may not be all about lying or what have you. It may just be that. Look at time, being conscious of time, respect for time, how it can even affect a relationship. I can give you examples on and on how lack of respect for time. Like myself, when you waste my time, I am furious. Yesterday, somebody was supposed to come, promise me I was going to be with you. I will leave my house by 2, and maybe I expected that, okay, 3. He will be with me. And 3, 4, 5, 6, he was not there. Then he came to 7 o'clock in the night. I was furious. And it affected my dealing with that person. I'm sure that person is going to be looking like, why is Miss Martins behaving this way? I thought this woman is cool. But somehow, a part of me, a part of my value system has been violated. So it's making me to react to other things that don't even have to do with time in an unpleasurable way to that person. So there are many times you feel, oh, why should my wife behave like this? Why should my husband behave like that? Not knowing that you were the one who fell below expectation. And that expectation was the one that you yourself created. So they're not going to trust you. They're going to feel like, should I? And that time when they are not trusting you, maybe another time when you are actually ready to actually behave well, that's when they will say, no, I can't even go to sleep without your promise. And you feel bad. So my assignment for you this week is think about it. There's that aspect of your life that you need to work on to make you gain more trust. Remember, when we're talking about trust, it's not just about I tell lies, I did not tell lies. It may be about even your relationship with other people. Yes, your relationship with the opposite sex. How transparent are you? So that your wife is not feeling insecure, your wife is not feeling like something is happening and what have you. Okay? And don't forget where I started from. Don't make promises from emotion. Don't let your promises be emotion driven. Let them rather be principle driven. God bless you. Value driven. Thank you. So that's what I have for you this week. Make sure you take your Monday Marriage Tonic. God bless you. And I want to use this opportunity to appreciate everyone that have been watching, giving me calls, the views. I'm so happy about the views, the reach. It's wonderful. It's quite encouraging, and I'm grateful to Facebook and other social media platforms that this is featuring. God bless you all. Please keep on working on yourself to get better. When you get better, your relationship definitely gets better. God bless.